Thanks a lot. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. There's a lot of things, a lot of vendors. It's very difficult to digest all the technologies, but I'm glad that you are here today. Thanks for coming. Before we begin, let me tell about myself. I'm Mallik Vatti. I'm one of the lead product managers at Skyhigh Networks. I have Security Web Gateway under my umbrella. I also manage Cloud Firewall, Private Access, ZTNA, that the buzzwords that you're hearing about, remote browser isolation technologies, and the client. And of course, the gateway anti-malware, what we are going to talk about, how do you want to secure your remote hybrid workforce? That's the main thing. But before I begin, I want to ask a question. I have a couple of questions, actually. How many of you are responsible to manage your security infrastructure today? Or looking at your security risk management profiles and then continuous assessment of your risk posture? Or incident response teams? Anybody? But at least those are the buzzwords you keep hearing from your IT organization or CISO, right? The second is about how many of your companies or organizations have adopted the hybrid workforce today? Pretty much everybody. That's the problem, right? There's a lot of exposure points. So you have come to the right session where we're going to talk about how to protect your hybrid workforce. But before I begin, I just want to show you some stats about what's going on in the threat landscape in the industry. As you can see, there are more than 500,000, I say 500,000, more than 500,000 new malware samples that are being produced every day. It could be new malware samples, it could be unwanted programs, it could be malware, it could be variations of the malware itself, which you call it as malware cocktails. The problem is not stopping there. The numbers are, as you can see, the numbers are significant. It could differ from vendor to vendor, but you can see the magnitude of the numbers itself. That's per day statistics. Out of which, you can see that more than 20,000 are related to the ransomware itself, the samples. Why is it? Because it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative, and today, there are so many exploit kits that are available with the advent of AI technology, AI helping them to actually use this and then attack the companies. That's the main thing. There are new toolkits that are available, which makes it very easy. Why is it so lucrative? Right, as I've been telling about, it's the ransomware. There's money on the table. How do the intruders come in? The biggest problem that anybody has is, in the modern world, is the hybrid workforce. As and when you have your entire workforce within your environment, you have an obligation to protect your remote hybrid workforce. But the minute we adopt the hybrid workforce, it became another exposure point. Everybody is a new satellite office. How do you extend your security to your endpoints? How do you secure your remote hybrid workforce wherein which the same security, whether you're on-prem or a cloud, are equally applicable? So that's what I just want to quickly show. But then again, right, what are the consequences of having the single point of failure wherein which there is one loose end that actually gives the ability for an attacker to come to your network? And by the way, there are a lot of techniques that are available today. It's very easy. Some of the things comes in the form of phishing, and some of it is very easy because you're actually using some social engineering techniques wherein which there is an update saying that Chrome has an update, you go and update it. People fall for it. Lot of end users are using the collaboration tools today. For example, WebEx. For example, Teams. It's just one pop-up that is essential to say that, hey, by the way, there is a new update for your WebEx. There's a new update for your Teams. You need to click this to get this updated. Those are some of the social engineering techniques or the social techniques that are available, which the end users fall for it. There is a PDF available. Opening the PDF comes from a CISO, comes from a CEO. You're tempted to open it, but then the minute you open it, there is a command and control center operations that are going on behind this to take control of it's all because of your exposure points. So the consequences of it is as I said, it's one thing, one weakness within your infrastructure, which lets the intruders get into your network. The consequences, of course, as you can see, intellectual property exposure. Your reputation is at stake, financial losses, your data is being breached, and of course, the operational disruption itself. People are not able to do their job. Everything, you have to reimage things. So on top of it, the cost of a ransomware attack, as you can see, is actually 4.5 million today. And this is a global average. But if you look at US statistics alone, US is one of the companies in the last 12 years which are always trending in the top charts. US average is about 12, close to 9.5 million today. And of all the attacks, 25% of the malware is resulting in a ransomware attack, which basically is asking you to pay some money for the data that's being held hostage. Even if the companies are willing to pay money, only 8% of it is being returned back, even though they take the ransomware. And you might have heard about the United Healthcare breach. According to The Wire, they say that they have paid estimated $22 million to get their data back. So it's all about, you can see the scale. So it's a responsibility to make sure you cover your end users, wherein the exposure points are a lot. But all of a sudden, your hybrid workforce are your exposure points. And of course, as you can see, the healthcare, financial, and pharmaceutical industries are the heavily targeted ones because they have money, as we spoke about the United Healthcare breach. So now, we talk about the problem. How do we help? We have solutions for it between Skyhigh and Trellix. So this is our portfolio, which comprises of Secure Web Gateway, CASB, and ZTNA. And these are the solutions that help you to protect your remote workforce, whether you're on-prem or off-site. So a couple of components which makes it, because in order to protect it, you need a defense in-depth solution. It's not about a single solution. Nothing can, if you have a single solution, is not going to be bulletproof. So you need to have a defense in-depth security posture, security options that you can mitigate, you can use to have. So some of the fundamental components that we have in our solution is, of course, we have been leaders in this industry for the last 20, 25 plus years. We have been doing this through McAfee. And through our global threat intelligence, we have a big database of risk attributes, URLs, scanning IP addresses, hashes, everything possible. On top of it, we have a gateway anti-malware engine. Gateway anti-malware engine is something unique in the industry, wherein which is just not about a sandboxing solution itself. When an end user actually accesses a website, it actually emulates each and every click that is possible within a web page. That itself is huge. None of the other vendors would be able to do it. On top of that, if a specific website is deemed to be risky, automatically through our AI automation and ML, it automatically detects that there is a probability that this website is malicious. You automatically safeguard the entire connectivity into a remote browser isolation environment itself, so that none of the packets does enter your network, none of the packets enter your wire at all, or the end users. Everything is offloaded, everything is detonated into the cloud. On top of it, we partner very well with our Trellix team, and we have a close collaboration with their IVX sandbox, together with our gateway anti-malware engine, and with their IVX, 1 + 1 = 3. We're going to protect using a multi-layer technology. We spoke about the components itself. Let's take a look at how it actually works in action. The fundamental thing is, before any access is being done, we actually look at the end user's risk, the device risk itself, where in which the end user is coming, what type of risky device is the end user using. That's the first enforcement point that we have. Once you have it, our gateway anti-malware engine automatically kicks in, and then it basically emulates each and every action that is available within the website itself. That's the beauty of it. While you can have other technologies, for example, using our gateway anti-malware engine, you can, in parallel, send the same types of web access to our cloud IVX engine as well. In that case, in parallel, the selected traffic can be offloaded so that you can get the benefit of best of both the worlds. For example, for compliance reasons, from regulated industries, the regulated industries ask you not to have one security solution. They want to have 2 or 3 security solutions within the stack itself. We built a great technology integration with Trellix, wherein which through our common platform itself, it can be managed, you can enforce policies. If you look at the other component, which I spoke about, the remote browser isolation itself, dynamically, if there is a riskiness of a web application itself, after it's going through our reputation, through our GTI engine, which is called the Global Threat Intelligence Engine, and the AVs and the hashes, automatically, the sessions are being offloaded to an isolated environment. It could be for remote, it could be for risky sites, or it could be only those sites, or it could be any site itself, which is called the full browser isolation. It's an emulation-based. Once emulation is done, you automatically forward it. But if you look at other technologies, right, it's not about the remote browser isolation itself. our mantra is not about protecting your end user itself, end user device itself, but then the data which comprises within the transaction. After the remote browser isolation itself, even there are controls within the product, what the end user can do, which are being regulated or controlled through a remote browser isolation, which means he can see it, he can feel it, they cannot touch it. That's the beauty of everything together, all the components that we have. This is a deeper integration that we talk about when it comes to Skyhigh and Trellix together. Apart from Skyhigh doing the emulation techniques within our own platform, you can selectively offload for additional processing, additional verdict itself. Some of the files gets offloaded to Trellix, where Trellix supports more than 200 different file types, including the actions in the sandboxing environment of the Trellix IVX. Apart from it, the verdict can be taken back, whether you can do it, you can offload it, or you can wait for the verdict to come back so that appropriate decision can be taken in our platform. We spoke about the problem. We spoke about the components. We spoke about how it actually fits in together within our product portfolio. But again, right, it's not about us. The industry is actually talking about. The results actually showcases of the independent test that's been done by one of the leading testing agency, which is called the AV test. As you can see, Skyhigh pretty much scored nearly perfect scores when it comes to Windows threats and for PE and also non-PE, perfect scores. And we are actually the top within that AV test category, wherein which the industry averages are much lower than what we have today, what we can offer today. Now, the benefits of having a 1+1 security solution with Skyhigh and Trellix. First of all, the hidden malware, especially when you have your exposure points, you have to protect it. You have to protect your exposure points. How do you protect a user risk and device risk? We spoke about it. Next is, a lot of traffic today, close to 90% of the traffic is encrypted. How do you basically break into the encrypted sessions at scale, do the decryption and look into the hidden malware and the DLP within that so that your data is not leaking, so that your end user devices are not prone to risk. The second is the comprehensive coverage of our websites and the URLs that comes with the risky rating. We spoke about 25 years, close to 25 years of experience in dealing with in this industry. Global threat intelligence, coverage, vast number of IP addresses, hash files, IP reputation, you name it, we have it. We've been doing this for a while. Emulation-based sandboxing is something which is unique in the industry. As I mentioned, it's all about emulating each and every action that an end user probably will actually click on a website. That's the beauty of it. And then automatically, when there is a risky website, when you see that there is a probability of risk happening within the website or the actions, automatically those sessions are being controlled or sent to a remote browser isolation. As I mentioned, remote browser isolation technology that we have is not just to protect your end user resources, data breaches, ransomware, but also to protect your crown jewel, which is called the data, your data itself. And of course, with the Trellix IVX engine itself, there is high fidelity rates in which you're only being sent the high fidelity alerts so that you're not actually looking at each and every event that's been identified into your threat logging. That's all I have to cover.